Bang, 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 bang. Welcome to the AVG Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm the host with the most. My name is Michael Marcanio. This is episode 50, I think. 50 of the AVG Fantasy Football Podcast.
This is actually episode 50 question mark.
The question mark. My name is Michael Marcanio. That's Tyler Revelis, also known as It's Your Boy T, and I got Anthony Revelis right here. Today we're going over waiver wire. It's NFL Week 3 coming up. Week 2's in the bag, or in the books. That's what it is. Week 2 is in the books, and so we're going to go over who you should pick up for your waiver wire. It's Tuesday. I mean, it's Monday technically, but it's Tuesday when you're listening to this, and it's time to do some waiver wire ads.
Las Vegas Raiders getting that W.
Raiders just got the dub.
Got the dub. First win in the Death Star.
Drew Brees
Is that what it's called, the Death Star?
gross. They called it
The
they called it the Al Davis Dome or something like that, or they said
Yeah,
something
it's called
like
the
that.
Death Star.
Yeah, I would rather call it that. But yeah, so we're gonna do waiver wire, all that good stuff. It's gonna be great. Like I always say, there's gonna be a timestamp table of contents in the description. I have all of the different points of the podcast timestamps, so you can navigate and easily get some info for your fantasy team without having to listen to the entire episode. So, say you have Saquon Barkley and you're like, dude, I don't know who to pick up. Just go to the table of contents and you'll know exactly when we start talking about it. Just makes it a little bit easier for you guys listening. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the podcast on the Apple Podcast app, do that. Helps us out. And give us a rating and review. We got a recent rating and review from someone. What did they say? I can't remember.
These dudes, fuck.
Yeah, he said these. He said these. He said I love these dirty boys, or said something weird. But gave us 5 stars. We don't. You can write whatever you want in there. We just appreciate it. You know.
He did.
Well, actually, don't write whatever you want. I mean, write something nice, I suppose. But
He said just discovered these guys, a bunch of dirty dogs. 5 stars.
yeah, love it.
So basically what I said.
A bunch of dirty dogs. I said dirty boys. Why do I always say boys?
I don't know, because
Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter for any quick news and notifications. We got your back. Also, subscribe to us on YouTube. We're trying to hit this goal so we can monetize videos, so we can, get some money to make this podcast better. Maybe expand, get more information out there. So yeah, subscribe to us on YouTube. Helps us a lot. But let's just get right into it, huh, boys?
Let's do it.
Mike and the Dirty Dogs. All right. Well, so this was the week of
death.
Everyone's
my fingers hurt.
Everyone seems to got their necks broken. Nobody broke their neck, but it was a lot of injuries, and a lot of injuries
he was
to
trying to get you to use that.
a lot of injuries to big players in fantasy world. Top 2 picks. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into it. A whole lot of ouchies.
Whole lot of ouchies, yeah. So you got a ton of players getting hurt. It was crazy. It's like someone will go down, and then 2 seconds later, another player would go down, and then another player's going down, and it was just crazy. And in a year of where you're thinking, coronavirus is going to be the reason why people are missing games, it's people are just tearing ACLs and their fingers hurt. There's all kinds of things going on. But yeah, a couple big name guys go down. You got Christian McCaffrey. He got a high ankle sprain. They're saying he's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks. So this is just not good if you have Christian McCaffrey right here. Kind of sucks. I mean, did you guys get McCaffrey in any of your leagues or no?
No,
I didn't.
Me and Mike were saying, off air, I was like, dude, I feel like he's about to Saquon this. It's going to be next week he's back.
Yeah. It's going to be 1 week. Probably not, but
Probably
also.
Not, but it wouldn't surprise me if that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least for him, it's, it's not a season-ending injury. It is a high ankle sprain, so the timetable is about 4 to 6 weeks. But like Anthony said, I wouldn't doubt it if, like you said, he Saquoned it, and he's back within a week or two. Michael Thomas supposedly has a high ankle sprain, and he was talking about playing tonight on Monday Night Football, and obviously he didn't play. It's better to be safe than sorry. I think just kind of looking to see if they put him on the IR, that'll kind of dictate whether or not they think he can play within the next 3 weeks at least or not. Because we see guys like Le'Veon Bell, with the hamstring injury, they put him on the IR. So that means he's gone for at least 3 weeks. Michael Thomas is not on the IR yet, so the possibility for him to come back in a couple weeks is realistic. So maybe that could be the same for McCaffrey. But yeah, that sucks if you have McCaffrey.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah. So, by the way, we're gonna go over. We're just gonna talk about everybody's injuries, and then we'll go into the waiver wire, and those people that you should pick up will be there. So, for right now, in this portion of the podcast, you know what I mean?
Yeah, just a lot of news. Just like Mike said, just gonna break down the injuries, go through all the news, and then we'll touch on the waiver wire, and we'll fucking
pad the wire. Pad the wire.
When we get there.
Pad the wire. All right. So, yeah. No, I don't have Christian McCaffrey though. 4 to 6 weeks it is, or 2 to 4 weeks. Did you say?
Would you be trying to buy in the low? Maybe if the guy's got McCaffrey, maybe for whatever reason he's 0-2, now he's got McCaffrey out. Are you trying to just buy in the low and stash him?
I mean, I'm not going to give up too much, though. So it just depends on what the guy's asking.
I'll give Calvin Ridley for Christian McCaffrey.
I'd keep Calvin Ridley because if it's 6 weeks, I'm not trying to miss out on Calvin Ridley.
By then, Calvin Ridley will have 32 touchdowns.
At least.
I don't know. He'll have a lot of touchdowns by then. But yeah, so McCaffrey goes down. Then another big name guy goes down. We got Saquon Barkley. This one kind of broke my heart. I have Saquon in one. I know you're.
It's breaking my heart.
Yeah, Mike was kind of giving me shit when we were watching the games, but yeah, it sucks. Saquon Barkley goes down. I knew it silly the way he kind of just fell. It's like he fell, let go of the ball, rolled out of bounds, and instantly started grabbing the knee.
I mean, his knee looked like a wet noodle.
Yeah, that's just not good. So it's unfortunate if you had Saquon. Obviously, he probably went like in the top 3 overall in pretty much every single league. So yeah, just a tough blow for these people who were picking in the first 3 picks. You lose McCaffrey for a couple weeks, and then Saquon. If you had drafted Saquon, he didn't do shit for you because week 1 against the Steelers, he got stuffed. I mean, I guess outside of PPR, he got you some pretty decent games because he had 6 or 60 week 1, but. Week 2 tears the ACL and he's out for the year. So I know he's got that Wolverine blood and he came back pretty fast off the high ankle sprain, but I don't know if he can do that with a torn
I think the ACL is a little different.
Yeah. So it's just unfortunate right there.
All right. Another one here, Sterling Shepard.
He's got a toe.
He's got that turf toe.
Yeah, so just another injury right here. Sterling Shepard, he's got turf toe. This one is another one that can keep a player out for several weeks. I mean, Phillip Lindsay suffered this in week 1. Like I said, he's supposed to be out for a couple weeks. Just for, an example, last year Devonta Adams had turf toe. He was out for what? He missed like 4 or 5 games, didn't he? At least 4 games, I feel like.
Let's see if I can pull it. I'll try and pull it up right now.
Yeah. So it's just unfortunate for Sterling Shepard right here. If anything, just having a one less player out there, one less person absorbing all these targets, this could actually just boost the level of like an Ingram, Darius Slayton, and a Golden Tate. And then obviously no Saquon Barkley as well. So when we get to the receivers, we'll touch on those certain receivers to potentially go target on the waiver wire for the New York Giants.
It was 4 games with Adams.
4 games, yeah. So turf toe, not good.
Not good.
I feel like Sterling Shepard's always hurt.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he gets nicked up.
Yeah. All right, we got another one. Parris Cambell. This one break your heart as well?
Yeah, I had a tough week 1. So yeah, I had Saquon in the league, and then Parris Cambell coming off.
Tyler, don't act like you're the only person who owns these guys in fantasy. I fucking have all of them just the same.
Yeah, but it sucks when you have them. Obviously, we're in multiple leagues, all of us. But when you have them all like on one team, it's kind of just like, man, I'm getting crushed right now. But Parris Cambell had a monster week 1. It was looking like he was primed. This is Dre's. DJ Chark in the sense of his second year breakout player. And, week 1, he was off to a hot start, 9 targets. And, I think he's got like a PCL, MCL sprain. So he's going to be out for a couple weeks minimum. But then I was reading something actually before we got on air, and they were saying that there's a good possibility that he could just be done for the entire season. So just a tough break for a guy who, in his rookie year, he was already banged up. And then now coming into his second year, after a good week 1, thinking like, okay, he could finally put it together. He's already banged up, and now he could potentially be out for the rest of the season.
Yeah. We got Jimmy Garoppolo. Do you know what that means?
I mean, I don't know if you were really starting Jimmy Garoppolo, but, he does have the high ankle sprain again. A lot of high ankle sprains out here. And then, so he's going to be out for a couple weeks. But you got your boy, Nick Mullins.
Nick Mullins
actually played pretty well when he was in was it last year or was it 2 years ago? Can't remember.
It was 2 years ago.
I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, so, Nick Mullins actually played pretty well when he was in there, when he took over for Jimmy G a couple years ago. But yeah, just something else to monitor right there. The Niners are just banged up across the board. I mean, all the receivers keep getting hurt. You got Kittle who missed a game, Jimmy G high ankle sprain.
Yeah.
They lose Nick Bosa.
That rookie didn't start the year week 1.
Oh yeah, I mean you got Richard Sherman's out, Solomon Thomas is out. It's just, yeah, it's pretty rough for the Niners right here. I was telling Andre, he's a Niners fan. He's like, yeah, we're going back to the Super Bowl. We're going back to the Super Bowl. And I'm like, bro, it's so hard to get back to the Super Bowl. It's, I don't think you understand that. I think the Niners have 0% chance to get back to the Super Bowl now. It's pretty bad for them.
Yeah. I mean, dude, they're so banged up. They literally have nothing besides running backs.
Yeah, I mean, their defense was part of the reason I feel like a good part of the reason they got there, and the defense is pretty beat up.
Yeah.
And the loss of Bosa is that's a huge loss.
And this is why we told you not to go out and draft the Niners super high. Obviously, they finished as, I think, the number 1 defense or number 2 defense behind maybe the Patriots. We preached on waiting for a defense. I think the only defense that we were all kind of like, if you're going to reach for a defense, I think we all said the Steelers. And, they're pretty good.
Yeah,
looking nice.
They're pretty good. So, yeah, hopefully you didn't reach for the 49ers defense.
Hey, Yin Steele is good, eh? All right. We go Raheem Mostert.
He's got a knee.
He got a knee.
He's got a knee.
What's his timeline?
They're saying an MCL sprain, so that's a couple weeks. They're saying 2 to 4 weeks for him to get banged up. He actually got both of these running backs for the 49ers getting banged up. You got Raheem Mostert and Tevin Coleman. Tevin Coleman both dealing with knee issues, both supposed to miss 2 to 4 weeks, give or take. It's just crazy because Mostert was actually balling. I mean,
he took the first carry for 80-yard touchdown.
Yeah, I think he did the same thing in week 1 too, didn't he? Though, like at least first drive.
One of the first
like
plays.
85-yard touchdown catch or something like that.
Yeah.
So
he recorded the fastest speed in 5 years on that 80-yard touchdown, according to Next Gen Stats. So that guy's fast.
Yeah, he's pretty fast. Yeah,
that's like one thing where it's like I kind of like the 40 is like I'm I'm not big on the combine. I think it's half retarded, but it's. Only half. But it's like he recorded the fastest time faster than Tyreek Hill, John Ross, these other guys who run the 40s and like this stuff, because it's like you're actually in pads running at full speed. It's not like you're sitting there in track shoes on the field ready to go sprint. So I mean, while the 40 is kind of somewhat helpful, to me it's just I don't know. I guess maybe I just hate that.
It's like it's like that coach from when we were watching
Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks, yeah. He's like, I don't care how fast you can run in your underwear.
If you don't block, you're not making this fucking football team. But yeah, so Mostert banged up, couple weeks. Just keep an eye on it. Hopefully, if you got an IR spot, if he goes on IR, you can drop him in there. Mike, you were actually telling me kind of a little. I don't know if it's a little glitch in the matrix or for whatever reason, but you could put a player on the IR if they were out.
Yeah. So what I noticed is I had a lot of guys out. Like I had AJ Brown. I have a bunch of different random people, Jameson Crowder, things like that. And I noticed if I could move these players who just are out for the week, I could put them in my IR spot. And since a lot of my leagues, because of COVID, we have multiple IR spots. So I have 3 IR spots in a couple leagues. So I just moved all those guys there, and I just fucking started adding players like crazy. Obviously, this week I have to drop them, but it's a really good way to have these backup running backs for different teams. And it kind of works out. You know what I mean? So I picked up Mike Davis just on a whim in one league, which is dope because now I don't have to worry about it for waiver wire this week.
Yeah,
so, it's just a cool. It's a dope little spot. I don't know if it works on other apps.
It's like it depends on the league because I did that in 2, and then there's one league I'm in only 3 leagues, but there's one where I can't do it.
Yeah.
So you got to just check your settings. But to your point, if you can take advantage of that
for sure.
It just don't. I think what I'm trying to get to is don't drop Mostert. Obviously he's hurt. He's going to be out for a couple weeks. You don't know what it is, but the guy's been balling. It seems like he's the lead back there for the 49ers.
Been hanging out with Dre.
And he's the only he's the only player on that team that's was healthy, or the only player on the team that's been productive, putting up some fantasy points for you. So yeah, don't drop him. I mean, Mike, you were telling me off air, someone in one of your leagues dropped AJ Brown and Mike Evans. And it's just crazy that people are dropping players of that caliber already. So, yeah, I think the point I was trying to make is don't drop Raheem Mostert. Just,
throw
him patient, throw him on the IR. Or at least you just got to hold him on your bench. You just got to be patient with it.
Truly. Okay, we go on to the next one. Cam Akers. Dude, this one's breaking my heart.
He's got a rib.
Breaking my heart.
Don't go break.
I mean, I wasn't able to find much news on him. It's just that he separated some rib cartilage. So usually something like that is usually a pain tolerance.
Yeah.
Sometime in game the players go out because they're in pain in the moment. So we'll see when we get an update if that a little bit more clarity with him going forward later in the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just sounds like a terrible injury to have as a running back. At least you got torn rib cartilage. I mean, obviously you're taking a lot of shots to the body. And then I think the thing that even hurts him even more now is that you have, week 1, Malcolm Brown breaks out. And then week 2, you got Darrel Henderson, who we'll touch on when we get to the running backs. He breaks out. So it's like there's no rush to throw him back out there when you have 2 running backs who've been kind of productive already. And then also he's banged up on top of that. So it kind of sucks if you have Cam Akers, Mike.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys.
But, yeah, he's just a stash. I mean,
it's not over. It's not over. Don't get rid of him, but I just,
Yeah.
I apologize
I'm just throwing shade
that it's not working out exactly how I wanted it to. Okay. Courtland Sutton. He's out for the rest of the year.
He's on the
That's
according
to sources.
Yeah, Courtland Sutton, he came in, right before week 1 on Monday night, bangs up the shoulder, AC joint sprain. He misses week 1. The reports are he's good to go. The shoulder was okay for week 2, but I think within the first quarter, he tears his ACL and the guy's out for the year. So just tough for the Broncos. They lose their Pro Bowl wide receiver, and then just, tough for you if you drafted Courtland Sutton right here. Well, I guess one of the only things is wide receiver position is pretty deep, so I feel like that's a little bit easier to recover from instead of losing a guy like Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, it's not good, but you can still win. You can still do it.
And another Broncos player, we got Drew Lock. Drew Lock is slipped and tripped and fell on his dick.
Yeah,
Drew Lock. Exactly what happened.
Drew Lock from the Broncos. He pretty much did what Sutton did. I think he's got an AC joint sprain, and that's not good for a quarterback. I mean, you got to use your arm and your shoulder to throw the football. So he's supposed to be out for a couple of weeks. But O'Driscoll came in and looked pretty decent. A guy who's just coming off the bench, not really expecting to play, and against the Steelers defense on the road. I feel like O'Driscoll. I felt like he didn't look too bad. So. But, yeah, just some tough luck there for the Broncos. I mean, they lose Drew Lock for a couple weeks. Sutton's on IR, and Phillip Lindsay's dealing with turf toe. And then they lost Von Miller as well. So, just getting banged up.
I think he got a power up because he plays for the Broncos now. Driscoll's ride them horses.
Dude, they got absolutely roasted on injuries. Tyrod Taylor apparently has a chest injury. Do you guys believe this?
What the coach is saying?
That he had an apparent chest injury right before the game.
He went to the hospital, so I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
Did you hear the news, though, or is that what you're going to say with Anthony Lynn, where he's like, once Tyrod Taylor comes back, he's a starter, so.
Yeah, I don't know if I would believe that with how well Herbert played. I think kind of once you throw him out into the fire, it's hard to kind of bring him back, and then over some time you think that they would just throw him back out there.
I mean, he did. He was like, there's only 3 other people. He broke some records for rookie starts. Tyrod Taylor, Justin Herbert. It was like there's only been 3 other people to throw over 300 yards and a rushing touchdown in their first game as a rookie.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the comment I read too. He was basically like, Tyrod gives us the best goddamn chance to win in this game, so he's our starter, no questions. So he was kind of irritated that people were asking him again. So I kind of believe that.
I don't know.
Tyrod's gonna start
Probably.
if he's healthy.
But I will say, in Tyrod's defense, Justin Herbert did go to fake handoff on a play, and he did it the wrong way. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. But
for fantasy purposes, if you own any of those players, I would hope it's not Tyrod. Unless you own Tyrod.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone does.
Yeah.
Is that it on these injuries? Yeah.
Yeah, so those are the injuries right there. So, yeah, just a lot of players getting banged up. It's kind of tough, but this is, part of fantasy football. It's just part of football in general. But this is where you need to make some moves on the waiver wire, and this is what we're here for.
Wave that wire.
We're here to tell you how to fucking
Bet the wire.
And who to pick up.
Who to pay down the wire. So we got waiver wire. We're gonna start with.
Oh, it's funny how you put that first.
Quarterbacks. This is his list, dude. This is his. I put it on his list.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, dude. Don't lie.
Dude, I don't fucking.
Click a motherfucking down. Ham, a fucking
I don't even think that
sandwich.
I don't know if that even.
That didn't even fucking work for. But I love it though, dude. How bad we were dying laughing. You were trying to tell me we were at the Buffalo Wild Wings, and we were watching some football on Sunday, and you were trying to tell me about one of your leagues. You're like, yeah, man, in my fucking and I go, I was like, a ham sandwich.
I don't know what that had to do or pertain to the situation, but yeah, we got some new drops, so.
Yeah, we're excited. I
like
like the other one, but you don't like it as much.
Yeah, I'm not that much of a
Which
fan
one,
either.
dude?
It's definitely a mic drop.
It's definitely a mic drop. All right, yeah. So you got quarterbacks here. You got Big Ben. He's 35% available. Next week he's going to be home against Houston. But yeah, I think Big Ben is a good streaming option right here. Week 1 puts up 22 points. Week 2 throws up 18. Mike, I know you got Big Ben. You pretty much every single league, I feel like, right?
Yeah, I think I have Chris Boswell more, but yeah, I have Big Ben in a lot of leagues. Like if I didn't go and grab like a Kyler Murray or like a Josh Allen or anything like that, I went and grabbed Big Ben. So.
Well, you Big Ben.
But I when I have Big Ben, it's not like he's just my starting quarterback every week. Like I have like Matt Stafford, Big Ben, Ryan Tannehill, Big Ben. I actually have Big Ben and Aaron Rodgers in our league.
Nice.
Which is pretty horny.
Yeah, dude, I need a quarterback, dude. You want to trade
And
me?
guess what? I went Big Ben first, and that's called loyalty, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, nice matchup next week. Definitely a streaming option against the Houston defense that's given up over 30 points in back-to-back matchups. So, good matchup for Big Ben next week. Oh, you Big Ben.
Oh, Big Ben. Put them on the lineup. Okay. Gardner Minshew. Dude.
Hey,
Gardner refuses to tank.
Dude.
I know they still lost the game, but, I mean, fucking, if he didn't throw that pick, that was it, dude.
If I had 100 fab, I would put all of it on Gardner Minshew. That's all I'm saying.
And you would tweet it at him and get some free beer.
Some free cerveza.
Yeah, Minshew is 80% available. I know, Chin, this was your guy in the preseason or in the draft season process right here. I mean, he's been balling 21 points and 23 points.
Yeah. I mean, what do you have? 3 touchdowns last week. He threw 2 picks. One of them kind of wasn't his fault, but he has a nice schedule coming up. He has Miami coming up next week. Then he goes to I'm trying to pull up a schedule real quick. Sorry. Then he plays the Bengals, and then he has the Houston Texans. So 3 really good matchups for Gardner Minshew. You could actually probably roll him out 3 weeks straight. So he's someone that if you're hurting at quarterback and he's available, you could potentially grab Gardner Minshew and not have to worry about, like, if you're the streamer type or you're in a streaming situation, you might not need another quarterback for the next 3 weeks. If he's balling for 3 more weeks, I mean, he might just be your guy for a majority of the year potentially.
For sure, yeah. I mean, and he's available on a ton of waiver wires, and he offers the rushing upside. So, just I think Gardner, the guy balls.
Yeah,
he balls.
He balls. Put him on your team. All right. This is a guy right here, Ryan Tannehill. This is a guy that I don't know why he had all this hype at the end of the year last year, and it's like people just have amnesia. They took their fucking dementia medication or something. I don't know what it was, but he's super. What's his availability?
65% on ESPN at least.
And that gets me fucking wet, dude. If you have Jared Goff, I would drop Jared Goff and put Ryan Tannehill on my team. Truly. But that's just because I hate
you're taking
Jared
a shot
Goff.
at someone.
Jared Goff's trash.
Yeah, dude. So, yeah, in one of my leagues, I picked up Tannehill. I was going to stream quarterbacks, but A.J. Brown was out, and I was like, all right, I don't know how much they're going to throw. No A.J. Brown. Got Derrick Henry. The Jags' run D's not very good.
Yeah, but you forgot they have our tight end sleeper on there.
I know, dude. I know. And Tannehill's my boy. He was my guy. He was one of my guys when we were doing the draft process, if I said to go get him. I was just talking about how consistent his floor was. I think he had like 19 points in pretty much every single game but one. I mean, my guys just picked up right where he left off. Week 1, 19 points. Week 2, 26 points. This week he's at home against Minnesota, and they're banged up. I mean, they lost Danielle Hunter, their Pro Bowl defensive end. They just lost their Pro Bowl linebacker, Anthony Barr. Their safeties and corners, I mean, outside of I think they got some good safeties, actually. But I think they got 3 brand-new corners, all pretty young. So, yeah, this Vikings defense is kind of just falling apart. So, yeah, I love me some Tannehill. I'll definitely be going out and getting him. And streaming him in a couple leagues.
He has a really good matchup next week, but then he goes to Pittsburgh, or he has Pittsburgh and Buffalo coming up after that. But I mean, he's the type of quarterback like to your point. I mean, 19 points or above since I think it was like week 7 or week 8 since he took over as a starter, right?
Yeah, it's been consistent.
I mean,
consistent floor.
yeah,
You know,
so
never boomer bust, just consistent.
I mean, it might not necessarily matter if you don't have great options to, even if it is Pittsburgh. You saw, Driscoll able to move the ball still. So I don't know if he needs to be owned because he's essentially someone that's you're going to start majority of the weeks, or if not mix and match, in a lot of the matchups.
Yeah, and just, for what the Titans like to do, they like to run play action. When you have a guy like Derrick Henry, when you're running play action, a lot of times the linebackers are going to bite on it because, it's fucking Derrick Henry. And, Tannehill was just highly efficient, the number 1 completion percentage and the number 1 passer rating out of the play action. And like I said, he put up a monster game, and that was without A.J. Brown. So hopefully when A.J. Brown comes back, he can continue to put up some monster numbers.
Ooh, put Ryan Tannehill. Dude, look at this guy. Daniel Jones.
Laying in that D.
So, is the thought process here adding Daniel Jones as a streaming quarterback that they're going to be behind?
My thought process was, and I threw him in here for us to kind of go over and talk about, was you got my guy Danny Dimes right here. And Anthony, this is one of the guys you touched on as one of your honorable mention quarterbacks to target in the later rounds. He's 52% available. He's at home against the Niners defense. And we just talked about how the Niners are just – that they've lost 2 defensive linemen. Richard Sherman's out. They're just banged up across the board. That 49ers defense is not the same as it was when they were playing last year. And, he's just thrown the ball a ton. 41 attempts and 40 attempts back-to-back games. And then now you have no Saquon Barkley, who's going to command a ton of rushing attempts. So I think we're going to see a lot of games where Danny Dimes is slinging that thing for 40 times a game. And, he's got some weapons. I know Shepard's got the turf toe, and he's going to be out. But, he's still got Darius Slayton. That they have the connection. Golden Tate's healthy now, Evan Ingram, and then even Dion Lewis, out of the backfield is a capable pass catcher. So, yeah, I think Danny Dimes is a decent quarterback to be streaming going forward.
Yeah, he's someone that I purposely didn't draft because I knew that to start the year he had Pittsburgh, Chicago, and the 49ers. So I knew that there was probably going to be about a 85 to 90% chance he was going to be on the waiver wire after week 3 going forward. So, the schedule opens up for him after this week. San Francisco is kind of banged up, to Tyler's point. He's someone you can go and grab, and then, you don't necessarily even have to start him this week coming up, but then going forward, he's someone you can kind of, use and play the matchups with because the schedule gets a lot easier. And like Tyler said, no Saquon, he's going to be throwing, he's going to probably attempt 600 passes this year.
Yeah. He's averaging 40.5 passes per game so far. So
I like that.
That's volume. Yeah.
I like it.
You got the remote? Because you got to turn up the volume on that one. Is that it on quarterbacks?
That's all I got. I don't know if there's any ones you guys wanted to touch on. Top of your head.
No, I think we're anybody I can think of is probably too owned to be a streaming quarterback off the top of my head.
Yeah,
I've been waiting to start Stafford, but I think we're all pretty high on Stafford. But no Galladay the last 2 weeks. I think Galladay, they said he's expected to come back, so I'll be hyped to throw Stafford.
I feel
out
like
there.
Galladay is the same way. What's it called? Fucking.
I got the wrong one right there. I meant to do this one.
You should do it and just cut it like half.
All right, dude, my bad.
Yeah, dude, just be better.
Don't tell me how to live my life, dude. All right?
Don't tell me you're not in control of the drops,
Yeah, dude.
right? You lost that job.
Yeah, you lost that privilege, dude.
I
Right?
gave it to you, dude.
Dude, you know what?
There was no fucking flub.
Listen, I'm a fucking Latter-day Saint. I gave you the. I was like, oh, poor fucking Tyler. Looks so bored over there with no laptop. Here's a laptop and a soundboard.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're a good friend.
Yeah.
Good
All
guy,
right, let's
good
go
guy.
on
Best
to
man in the
running backs. I think this is everybody agrees. This is the number 1 ad this week. Is Mike Davis. Mike Davis. Dude, before we recorded the podcast, we were like, Eric, where did we get that from? Eric Barron. Because we kept saying Mike Davis. And he's like, dude, we should get a Team America drop. I was like, we have one. And he goes, why am I so fucking stupid?
Why is everyone so fucking stupid?
Yeah, that was
It was super funny.
legitimate.
Bro, I think we're about to set the record for most drops in an episode.
Yeah, truly.
We're getting close.
Hey, listen, but I think Mike Davis is 100% the guy you want to add on. If you not even if you have or don't have Christian McCaffrey, but if you have the number 1 waiver wire spot, I would definitely put it on Mike Davis.
Yeah,
I'm a little upset I put it on Raheem Hines last week.
yeah, so am I.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone saw that coming.
I didn't expect Saquon and fucking Mike and Christian McCaffrey to both go down in the same day.
You also didn't expect Naheem Hines to get 1 touch and Jonathan Taylor to get
90.
28, or I think it was, especially after Naheem Hines had 8 receptions in week 1.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all assumed that at least Naheem Hines would have had a safe PPR floor, but no, not so safe. Yeah. But yeah, Mike Davis, I mean, the number 1 waiver wire ad, he came in once Christian McCaffrey went down. Only 1 rush, but they were trailing a lot in that matchup. But what you do like to see, if you're gonna be picking up Mike Davis, is the 8 targets, 8 receptions, 74 yards. Yeah. It's going to be a lot of the same at Carolina. That defense, I know they did add some draft pieces we brought off in the offseason, but that defense it's no good. So they're going to be trailing every game. He's going to be, the beneficiary, goddamn ham sandwich.
Beneficiary.
Yeah, of the passing work from the running back position. He's probably going to see, roughly 10 to 12 carries a game, maybe 10 to 15. So my number 1 ad, I'd actually spend a decent amount of fab on him, or use a number 1 waiver wire claim if I had it.
How much fab would you be willing to? Because it's obviously just you're kind of looking at a couple-week rental period because you're expecting McCaffrey to come back. You can't tell me, huh? All right, you got to tell the listeners, though. I'm not going after Mike Davis, so don't have to worry about me. Now, are the other guys in the league listening? I don't know. Are they subscribed to AVG? I don't know, dude.
Who asked me? They're like, dude, do you tell everybody everything, or do you hide some info? Because people in your leagues might listen. I'm like, no, I don't hide info.
I don't hide info, but I will purposely be monotone sometimes.
Let me bore him out of this segment.
I won't show excitement. I'll just be like, he's got a good matchup, and I think he's going to be good this year.
All right.
His name's Gardner Minshew.
That is the thing, too, sometimes doing this. We're on a lot of leagues with each other, or our close friends, they'll be listening or stuff like that. And so, it just kind of sucks sometimes. We're talking about waiver wire. Or one thing I noticed, too, is when I try to trade for someone, people be like, why do you want him? You must want him for a reason, so I'm not trading you.
You must know something.
What do you know that I don't know? And it's just like, dude, I just want, I like him. I'm a fan. I want it, and they'll be like, nah, if you want him, I'm not trading him. And I'm just like, dude, what the fuck?
You must talk to his agent on the low. You must know something we don't know.
I get that even, dude. I don't even.
All right. But, yeah, Mike Davis, I think we all agree.
I think if you're 0-2 and you did lose McCaffrey or Saquon, I'm not mad at you if you go and drop let's assume that McCaffrey is out 4 to 6 weeks. I mean, you're going to get an RB2 flex RB in Mike Davis, probably week in and week out. So I'm not mad if you spend anywhere from 20 to 30% of your fab. Like I said, if you're thin at running back and you did lose one of these guys and you're going to be in trouble at the running back position, I'm not mad if you go above 30, because you want to get those W's and take a goddamn. I'm a ham sandwich tonight.
I want to hit it again.
Yeah,
I don't know what number it is though. So I'm like,
it's 4.
Look at it. You can read it,
dude.
It's 4.
Fuck yeah.
Damn. Ham.
All right, how about this though? You know me, I'm the trade guy. I always like doing trades. If you can go out and get Mike Davis, are you interested in, because it's only going to be a couple-week rental, are you interested in going to get Mike Davis and potentially trading the CMC owner because you're like, hey, man, look, I got Mike Davis now. You got McCaffrey. I'm just going to trade you him so you can have his handcuff in case McCaffrey does get banged up. When he comes back, maybe he re-aggravates it for whatever reason, and maybe you get a more valuable, consistent piece for the long run. You think that's a potential strategy?
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, that's a strategy.
It's a good strategy. I mean, they would also depend on your roster too. But if he's someone you're going to be using for 4 weeks, then I'd.
Let's say you got 3-4 decent running backs already, and you're like, I'm just going to grab Mike Davis. So. Yeah, just inside the mind of a guy who likes to trade a lot.
Yeah, not like this strategy. I fucks with it.
Yeah, all right.
I like it.
Well, we can move on to the backup for Saquon Barkley.
He's breaking my heart.
Don't go breaking my heart.
Yeah, so you got Dion Lewis here for the New York Giants. He's the guy who took over for Saquon right here. He got all the work, but that was kind of due just to the fact that they only had 2 running backs on the active roster for the game. It was just Saquon and then Dion Lewis. You had Wayne Gallman, who was a healthy scratch, so he should be more incorporated in this backfield going forward. There's also been some reports for the next guy we're going to talk on, Devonta Freeman. He's supposed to go work out for them right there. I mean, what's your thoughts on Dion Lewis, Anthony? Are you going out and rushing to get him? I mean, because Mike Davis is just obviously a couple weeks rental, maybe 4 weeks, give or take. Dion Lewis maybe could be the guy for the season because Saquon's going to be out for the whole year with a torn ACL.
I don't know if I'm not burning much fab. I might throw like a 5% fab on these guys. I mean, the line in New York is not very good. I mean, Saquon was was having some trouble on the ground because of the offensive line, and now it's you're going to give me a committee between Wayne Gallman and Dion Lewis. Well, they'll have some value, and we could be talking about potential starts on a week-to-week basis. I'm probably not burning too much fab on a committee that's got a bad offensive line. That's my thought on it.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Dion Lewis guy here. I mean, I feel like if they were so confident in him and Gallman to kind of be the guys, you wouldn't be bringing in a guy like Devonta Freeman off the streets to potentially come in and be the starter going forward. So I'm kind of with you right there. I don't know how much I'd be willing to risk on him. I mean, if he passes through waivers for whatever reason, maybe I'll grab him. Like I said, maybe I'll throw 5-10% if that at the most. But this is kind of more. I don't want to spend a good amount on Dion Lewis, and then the news breaks, they go out and sign Devonta Freeman. Because instantly, if they sign Devonta Freeman, Dion Lewis's value shoots down, tremendously to me.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry,
My bad.
Mike's over just shoving his face full of popcorn.
Well, I didn't realize that. My bad.
No, you're good. But yeah, so Devonta Freeman right here. We got him on the YouTube screen right here with the template. But yeah, it's just because he's supposed to come into New York, I think tomorrow, right?
Yeah, he was in Philly right now, so I think he's going to New York.
Yeah, he's
next.
going to New York.
So pay attention tomorrow. We'll put an announcement on Instagram or Twitter if anything happens. But by the time this releases, he might.
Yeah, he would be a guy. If I'm gonna try to get one of these guys, if he goes to New York, like I said, I personally would rather have Devonta Freeman. I know he's still got to learn the playbook and all that stuff, but to me, it just makes sense. Like if the team and the coaches were so confident in Dion Lewis and Wayne Gallman to be the guys, like why would you go out and pay Devonta Freeman? And the reports are Devonta Freeman hasn't signed with anyone yet because he hasn't got the money that he thinks he deserves. So it's like, are the Giants really going to pay him the amount of money that he wants for, in a sense, like a 1-year rental? Because, next year Saquon's going to be back, and once he comes back, Devonta Freeman is no longer existent for the New York Giants.
I think
he offers the most upside out of the three, but I kind of don't. I don't even want to mess with this backfield.
But I'm the same way, and I think you're right, Tyler, because I think they're talking about moving away from Saquon soon. And so I don't think that they're going to be spending money. If they're going to spend money on anybody, it's going to be Saquon.
Yeah.
Over Devonta Freeman. But yeah. So yeah, I'm with you on that. I could see how that could hurt the deal from happening. But I do think that Devonta Freeman, I feel like that's one of those things where you go in to negotiate and you're like, no, I want more money. And as the months go by and as the season starts going by, you're like, okay, just put me on the team. I'll play. You know what I mean? So I also see that happening. I mean, it was the same thing. Remember Cam Newton was like, I'm not taking a backup job. And it was like the Patriots were like, oh, we're going to give you a backup job. We're going to pay you like a backup. And he's like, all right, let's do it.
But yeah, hopefully watch, week 1 we said go get Devonta Freeman because he was talking about, even before this happened, he was talking about, he was pretty much deciding between 4 teams on who to sign with. So hopefully you went out and you grabbed him and you just threw him on your bench like we told you to. But
put him on.
It was a good stash.
James Robinson.
What was his own percentage?
He's 40% available. So that was on ESPN at least. I just threw James Robinson on here for us to go over because, 16 carries in back-to-back games. And he's a starting running back who's potentially on the waiver wire. In the 2 games, I think Chris Thompson only has 2, maybe 3 carries overall. So he's out carrying Chris Thompson 32-2 or 32-3. He is the main guy there. He's essentially the workhorse running back. I know it's on a bad team, but starting running backs on the waiver wire, you can never have enough running backs, at least for depth purposes. And now when you got guys like CMC going down, Saquon, even Le'Veon Bell. So yeah, I just think it's a good guy to go out and grab.
Yeah, I'd rather spend fab on James Robinson over these Giants guys that we just discussed.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I actually don't think he loses that job when Raquel Armstead. If he keeps playing this way,
yeah, me neither. I think he's pretty much earning his stripes in a sense.
Yeah. Or his leopard stripes.
Or his spots.
His spots.
Yeah.
Leopard stripes. His leopard stripes.
This is Dre's boy right here. You can't.
That's my dog.
Bro, he's about to ball.
We should make that a clip. Drop. He's about to ball.
About to ball. Bro, he went out there balling.
Yeah, you got Joshua Kelley here. He's 72% available. 23 carries last week. Saw 52% of the snaps, and I think one reason why this is kind of one of Dre's dudes is that he was kind of saying you got Eckler there, and he's going to stay the Austin Eckler role, but he was kind of basically saying Joshua Kelley is going to be like the Melvin Gordon of this offense going forward, and I mean it kind of seems like that after 2 weeks. I mean he gets you 12 carries in week 1 and then 23 carries in week 2. So in terms of carry wise, he's right up there with Austin Eckler. It does kind of look like a 50-50 split, at least a 60-40 split. I'll go 60-40 Eckler. To me, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, I mean it's 57-52 last week, so pretty close.
And it's basically the same. You're getting a Melvin Gordon. So if he's there, a Melvin Gordon from like 2 years ago, and he's young.
Would you rather go over Joshua Kelley over one of these, Dion Lewis, Wayne Gallman type of guys?
I would take that.
I would take Josh Kelley over those Giants running backs for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
I think if Devonta Freeman went there, you might make the case, but it's still that O-line is terrible. I mean, if that O-line can't help Saquon put up points, I don't know.
That's what scares me about any of the backs too.
But I mean, they played tough Pittsburgh defense week 1, so there's that too. But it just did look discombobulated, that offensive line.
If you have Eckler, are you trying to handcuff? I mean, with all the injuries that are going on, it seems like people are just dropping like flies. Are you trying to handcuff if you have Eckler?
I mean, I feel like it's not even a handcuff.
Yeah, if it's
like, but
well,
so
like,
yeah.
I guess he's kind of one of the high end.
I mean, he's like a Latavius. He's more. He's like he's like a usable RB. He's like an RB2.
Yeah.
The way that amount of carries he's getting, he's like a shittier Jonathan Taylor.
Like a poor man's Melvin Gordon from last year. So I definitely think like he's out there in a ton of leagues. I definitely think you should go out and get him. Definitely needs to be on your bench at least. If you don't feel comfortable starting him, at least to be on your bench.
Dude, Bud Dupree just ruined Drew Lock's shoulder right there. All right, this guy.
I was like, I'm wondering if he's going to be in there.
This guy I like. I mean, you
guys.
I
got to get our guy in there, dude.
Yeah, dude.
The Dolphins' lead running back,
bro. Myles Gaskin. He said Matt Breida, Jordan Howard. Hold my fucking beer, idiot. I just popped my mic so bad. But yeah, I mean, he's gone out there. Sorry for audio listeners. I should probably fix that in post.
Yeah, I mean, roughly 65% of the snaps in back-to-back games. So, I mean, if you're getting a running back that's playing 65% of the snaps, I mean, it's something you like to see. The ugly part of it is that you get Jordan Howard who comes in at the half-yard line and just goes.
He just
vultures the touchdowns, but over 40 yards in both games. What you like to see is the targets and receptions. That's I think in a PPR, that's where he becomes possibly someone you're considering as a flex maybe going forward. Week 1, 4 targets for 26 and 4 receptions for 26 catches. Or 26 yards. Week 2, 7 targets, 6 receptions for 36 yards. So I mean, he's been double-digit PPR points in back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like the main guy there. It's kind of crazy because, they go out and get Jordan Howard. They trade for Breida. We're thinking this is going to be a little thunder, a little bit of lightning for the Dolphins as far as like the running back situation goes. This is one of those scenarios where it would have helped to have preseason because we could have saw in preseason like, oh, man, Gaskins looks really good. Like, maybe in the late rounds, take a shot on him. And we could have saw like Jordan Howard does not look good. I don't know for whatever reason it is. Jordan Howard literally – the only time he comes on the field is for like short yardage situations. I think he's got like 17 snaps and he's got like 15 carries, 2 touchdowns.
He's got
for 12 yards.
17 snaps, 13 carries for 11 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, pretty close enough. So
yeah.
So he's actually out. You know what? He's surprisingly outdoing Kalen Balazs.
No, I mean, I added Myles Gaskin. This is what I look at Myles Gaskin as like a guy I'm probably not going to spend a high waiver priority on. Like obviously these other guys ahead of him, I would just kind of almost wait and watch what other people pick up and then add after that.
Yeah, you might even have to burn a waiver priority on him or spend much fab. I mean, the reason I kind of liked when we were, debating Jordan Howard or Matt Breida in this offense, who you're taking. The reason I leaned on Matt Breida is because, I figured, I still don't think even though I'm a Miami fan, I don't think we're a playoff team. I think we're going to be chasing more often than not. We have, we're not necessarily getting blown out like we were last year, but chasing. So I was like, who's going to catch the ball? It's not going to be Jordan Howard, obviously. I was going to assume it was going to be Matt Breida, but it's not. It's Myles Gaskin. I mean, the 11 targets in 2 games. Just to pace that real quick off the top of my head, that's about 88 targets in the season. So that's a usable piece.
Yeah.
And it seems like he has that pass catching role on lock, and he's getting some first and second down work too. Maybe if Miami has some leads in some of these games, maybe he gets 15 carries and 5 catches and ends up being a good start that week.
Yeah, Mike, I kind of did your strategy. You told me, we touched on it earlier. You were saying how you can move some players to the IR spot, and you were kind of just grabbing some players and stashing them going forward.
Miles was one of them.
So, yeah, I did that. Kittle was out. I threw him into the IR spot. I had Jordan Howard. I didn't want to drop him because I was like, all right, it's just one game. Maybe this game, maybe they'll – I didn't want to drop him, and then now Jordan Howard comes out and he gets 15, 16 carries, goal line touchdown, and it's like, okay, now you see what happens. But so I kept both of them, and I kind of just wanted to see how this Dolphins backfield was like really breaking down. But, yeah, now that I saw it, to me, it does look like the Myles Gaskin show over there in Miami. So, yeah, I'll be dropping Jordan Howard. I'll be keeping Gaskin. And, to me, Flores is kind of one of those guys where, he's a player's coach. And I think he kind of notices, if a guy's balling like that, he hasn't done anything, at least in my opinion or from what I've seen on tape, he hasn't done anything to lose snaps or lose playing time to Breida or Jordan Howard outside of a goal line carry.
It's not like he's like fumbling or like.
Yeah, like he's earned more playing time to me, in my opinion. So
yeah,
I'm with it.
I like it.
Throw Myles Gaskin on there. How about Jerrick McKinnon, the highest paid undrafted fantasy player?
Yeah, so throw Jerrick McKinnon in here. He's 80% available. Throw him in here because, they got to give the ball to somebody. Mostert, he's got the knee sprain. He's got the knee coach. He's going to be out for a couple weeks. You got Tevin Coleman. He's banged up. He's going to be out for a couple weeks. So maybe the 49ers finally get some usage out of McKinnon and they get, some of that money or some work out of him for all that money that he got from them. I mean, in terms of PPR, at least 13 points in PPR game, back-to-back games. And there's just no running backs there now. So he's an explosive guy. I know he might not be the most efficient guy, but I feel like in that offense, in that system, and how fast and explosive he is, he's got the ability to take a carry to the house at any given time. So I think he's a good sneaky play. Maybe a guy, especially in a week where, people are going to be trying to get Mike Davis. They're probably going to be overreacting on Dion Lewis and some of these other guys. McKinnon might slip through the cracks right here, and maybe you just throw like $1 on your fab just to try to get him. That way, at least you're putting something on him. But, yeah, I think he could be a nice little, weekly guy. Just, you're streaming him here and there just, in the meantime until these other running backs come back.
Yeah, I mean, another guy would maybe this is if you have a deeper bench, Jeff Wilson Jr. I don't think he's someone you have to spend any fab on or anything, but he's someone I might play that strategy like we just spoke about, where put some of these guys on IR, pick him up, and see what happens, because maybe it's a timeshare with him and McKinnon, and he's someone that you can use for a week or two while Raheem Mostert gets back to full speed and while Tevin Coleman gets back to full speed. This is like a deeper kind of ad.
For sure.
But it just doesn't hurt to add him, and then let's just say he goes out and, Jeff Wilson Jr. has 12 to 15 carries, McKinnon has, 10, and, maybe we're discussing using him the week after or something like that as a flex play. So just a deeper ad.
Yeah, I could definitely see Jeff Wilson Jr. being the goal line back too with those Coleman and Mostert out.
Well, it's like, who do the Niners have left? It's like Jerrick McKinnon and Jeff Wilson. And that rookie from ASU.
I forget his name.
Yeah.
I would know.
What's his name?
Jamichael Hasty.
That's who it is.
He's I think he's out of Baylor.
Oh, no. I was talking about the not the rookie running back, but I'm saying rookie offensive players.
Oh, Brandon Ayuk. Oh, my bad.
Dude, we made that. We were like,
dude,
can he get better?
All the time. Oh, dude, one time I slip up, dude.
No. I was saying, can he get better so we can play that? That drop more.
Dude.
He's only
But
played
also,
one game.
you need to get better,
Dude, this is all I hear right now when you're talking to me.
We should. I can't wait to fuck with Dre when he comes back. Where is he?
Yeah, but yeah, I do like McKinnon. I mean, like I said, they have, and he's a capable pass catcher out of the backfield. So I actually touched on him in the last week's waiver wire episode, and I said, go get this guy, just stash him on your bench. You want to be 1 week early instead of 1 week late. But, like I said, now if you went out and you grabbed him, I grabbed him in one of my leagues. I just threw him on my bench. Now it's like you're going to get people who are going out there trying to get him. But if you just grabbed him and listened to us last week, you got him for free. And now Mostert goes down, Coleman goes down. Now you potentially have the starting running back on the 49ers offense, who is one of the most run-heaviest offenses in the NFL.
Truly.
You heard it first.
They can't throw the ball. Anyway. Okay, we also got Damien Harris for the Patriots. Damn, we got a lot of running backs here.
Kind of just a deep. I know we were discussing it. It's like none of the running backs look to seem to be doing anything. So it's like, add him, throw him on IR. I did that in one league because you can just put him straight in IR. So I have him sitting in IR. When he comes back, he could end up being a useful piece. So I feel like it's.
Yeah, I mean, he's 82% available. Like Anthony just said, I mean, I have it right here in my notes. Sony Michel's a bum. 17 carries on the year for 56 yards. That's 3.3 yards per carry. He's just not good. I think the only thing that was good for Sony Michel was that he was the goal line back. So even if he got you 17 carries for 56 yards, he would fall in the end zone. You'd be like, okay, he had a good game. But he's no longer the goal line running back there. It's Cam Newton. And then even Burkhead, not very efficient, only 2.6 yards per carry. Obviously, James White, he didn't play because, he tragic accident with his parents. I think his dad passed away. His mom's in the hospital. Yeah. So, thoughts and prayers go out to James White and his family.
I started him.
But, yeah, so I just feel like a guy who was getting all this rave reports out of camp as being the best running back that the Patriots had, I'll save him and throw him on my IR spot. Like Mike said, with COVID, every league should pretty much have at least a couple IR spots. You go out and you grab them. You throw him on there, you kind of just stash, and you see what he is. I mean, going forward, Michel just does not look good. No. And I can see a scenario where going forward, Damien Harris takes over that lead role. And when you have a guy like Cam Newton, who's a dual threat quarterback who can run, that's only going to open up more lanes for a guy like Damien Harris. You think it would open up lanes for Sony Michel, but I think it just shows you how he's just not good anymore.
Yeah, I mean, Sony Michel was kind of I don't want to say league winner running back his rookie year, but he was for that second half stretch. And maybe Damien Harris does something like that, where he come in, he gets, he's a top 15 running back for the last 12 weeks or 10 weeks of the season, and there's that upside built in there. So I mean, if he's available, grab him, IR him, and put him in in their spots.
And we got the old dinosaur, the dinosaur that is.
I am not. Let's put it this way: outside of Jamison Crowder, I will not start any Jets players all year as long as Adam Gase is there.
I agree 100% too. The only reason I threw Frank Gore in here for us to go over is 80% available, and he got 21 carries. I mean, you cannot deny the volume that he's getting. I mean, 21 carries for him last week. I know it's not the sexiest carries, but only 5 carries for the other 3 running backs combined. So it was the Tank show there for the New York Jets. Adam Gase just loves Frank Gore for whatever reason. I mean, like I said, if you lost Christian McCaffrey, you lose Saquon, maybe you lost Le'Veon Bell, and maybe you lost 2 of those guys on one of your teams. So maybe you're just scrambling on the waiver like, hey, I just need somebody who's going to be a starting running back so I can throw into my lineup, who's going to get me 15-plus touches and some goal line work if the Jets can ever get to the red zone or the goal line. But, yeah, I just think Frank Gore's a guy to keep an eye on. If you're in a pinch and, like I said, you just need a guy with a pulse who's going to be a starting running back, just Frank Gore. He's out there.
Frank Gore.
We got wide receiver.
You're just kidding. Running back, still going.
Yeah, last one for the running backs right here. You got Darrel Henderson, 55% available. Has a good game. I mean, you're thinking it's going to be the Malcolm Brown show. Cam Akers is there as well. Darrel Henderson didn't do anything in week 1, but comes out, gets 12 carries, 81 yards, a touchdown. Also adds 2 catches for 40 yards through the air. Cam Akers, you said, he's got the rib coach. Rib cartilage injury.
You got to keep them separated.
Yeah. Are you going out to rush and grab Darrell Henderson, or you just kind of want to avoid this whole Rams backfield
I think he's interesting for this week because if Cam Akers is out for some reason, and then Malcolm Brown, he left that game with a finger injury. So
my fingers hurt.
I like how you set me up though. You laid it off the glass.
Yeah. See, that's how it's done, Mike.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, really? Because you guys do that to me, dude. When I had the soundboard, you'd be like, "Yeah, Brandon Ayuk."
So let's just say there's the off chance that both these guys miss. I mean, that's where he becomes a little interesting because then he would just be the workhorse back. I'm going to assume. I don't know who's behind him. But in this week, I got a popcorn kernel stuck in my throat. He could end up. Go ahead. Any second.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I didn't want anything to do with this Rams backfield just because, you do have Malcolm Brown there. You got Cam Akers, who I think is the most talented out of the three. But he's still a rookie, no training camp, really no preseason games for him to get acclimated. And then Darrel Henderson's there, he's second year, they spent a good draft capital on him last year. So I just didn't want nothing to do with it. But I think he's a good go out and grab him and throw him on your bench. Maybe I'm not throwing him into my starting lineup right away. But like I said before, you can never have enough depth at the running back position. And for whatever reason, we just saw the Niners lose 2 running backs. And now Jerrick McKinnon, their third-string running back, is potentially going to be the starting running back. So to go out and get a guy who's, I want to say, on one of the better offenses in the NFL, Cam Akers already banged up. He's already got torn rib cartilage. I can imagine a scenario where that just gets worse with more contact to it. So maybe he goes out on IR. Maybe Malcolm Brown gets hurt. For all you know, maybe now you have the starting running back for the Los Angeles Rams. So I would definitely go out and grab him and just throw him on my bench at least. So good depth. When you want some of these good bench players, he's just a good bench player to me.
I like it.
I like it.
All right. Well, we can move on to the wide receivers.
The longest neck in the game.
The longest neck in the game. I said it. I posted a video the day before week 1. Why is everybody sleeping on Robby Anderson? If you should add Robby Anderson instead of Michael Pittman Jr., you should add him instead of these rookie wide receivers. Put him on your team. And he's definitely the 1B in Carolina. I know I got some Jets highlights for YouTube viewers right now, but he is the 1B there, man. Like we've said, Curtis Samuel just doesn't seem like he's really relevant, or as relevant at least. So I think he's definitely, if you're hurting at wide receivers, Robby Anderson's a decent ad.
Yeah, he would be my number 1 receiver ad.
Damn, dude, I love when I'm right. It feels so good.
18 targets in 2 weeks. You can't be mad at that. The game script with the Carolina Panthers is not going to change. Bridgewater is going to have to throw it 600 times, maybe 600 something times. Like you said, Curtis Samuel, 2 targets last week. The tight ends are non-existent. Tight ends have 4 targets in 2 weeks combined. So all these targets are going to go to the receiver position. The beneficiaries of CMC being out might be even more Robby Anderson and DJ Moore targets. They might each see 15 targets next week.
Yeah.
So, this is a guy you can definitely kind of count on week in and week out.
Yeah, I don't know what his availability is in the leagues. I think he's kind of on the more owned side than available on the waiver wire. But, Mike, you're saying the 1B. I think he's the 1A. Right now he leads the team in receptions, yards, and touchdowns.
I would go
I think DJ Moore had a tough matchup. I know, we always talk about, the corners don't really shadow as much. But, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm going to kind of game plan to take DJ Moore out more than Robby Anderson. But
I just think, like Anthony said, no more, tight ends are not involved. No Christian McCaffrey. He's got 8 targets one game, 9 the next game or something like that.
Yeah. Or 8 and 10.
8 and 10. The guy's getting heavily targeted, and we've seen DJ Moore. His touchdown upside is not there. Robby Anderson's a boom guy. I was joking around when I say 1A and DJ Moore's a 1B, but I do think it's like a 1A, 1B scenario right there. But I would not be surprised at the end of the year if we're looking at Robby Anderson as maybe not the team leader in receptions, but the team leader in yards and touchdowns, because DJ Moore's never been a high touchdown guy.
Yeah, I can, valid point. Either way, he's a top 30 receiver.
Yeah.
And it's the loss of Christian McCaffrey isn't gonna hurt. DJ Moore should have had probably 170 yards last week. Bridgewater fucking missed him on so many passes.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's what's hard when you have Teddy Big Water. All right, anyways. We got Golden Tater. Golden Tater.
Add to your roster.
Add to your roster.
The waiver.
Sterling Shepard.
Because Sterling Shepard might end up on the Yeah, Golden Tate, 40% available. This is kind of tied to the fact that, like we said earlier, Danny Dimes is throwing the ball 40 times a game. No Saquon now. Sterling Shepard has got the turf toe, so he should miss a couple weeks. Golden Tate, just a savvy veteran PPR guy. He's available in a ton of leagues, so I think he's a good, if you pick him up, wide receiver 3 flex guy.
For sure.
Yeah.
We can go to N'Keal Harry.
Yeah, so this was your guy in the preseason or the draft season, Mike.
He was like my take a swing on him.
Yeah, this was kind of like your guy, like a breakout guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sophomore year, It's a good year for receivers. Usually second or third year.
And I mean, I'm not mad at it. I think he's available in 60% of the leagues, and I would go out and grab him. I think he's great depth for the wide receiver position. He's kind of like a wide receiver 3 tier for me right there. I mean, Cam Newton looked really good. He was slinging that thing. He was pretty accurate.
Yeah, he beat my team.
And just kind of some numbers here. You wouldn't really think of it, but he's outsnapped Julian Edelman in both games, and he's tied with Edelman with 18 targets. Those are both the most for the team. So yeah, I'm going out and I'm getting N'Keal Harry. And Edelman's never really been a big touchdown guy in terms of who's the red zone threat. They don't have a red zone guy like Gronk anymore. Yeah, I love me some N'Keal Harry.
Dude, and 15 is such a good number. You know what I mean? Listen, you hate watching the Patriots. Everybody does. Okay, at least have one of the receivers on your team, so that way you can feel a little bit better when they fucking beat your team. Cam Newton looks good. Anyways, I feel
he had to
He
recover
looks
that.
good. I mean, you got to think N'Keal Harry. I mean, he didn't have a good year last year because he was banged up. But I mean, he's first round receiver, and
Tom Brady.
I mean, he said he's out snapping Edelman. And they both have 18 targets. And like I said, Cam looks good. I think he's on I don't want to say a revenge tour, but he's out to prove that he's still Cam Newton. He's still Superman tour. So yeah, I'll definitely go out and get that guy who's getting the ball thrown from Cam Newton.
Yeah, I mean the tight end position same thing with this. It's the tight end position is kind of irrelevant. So it's where are the targets going to go to the running backs and receivers, and it's pretty dominant with the Julian Edelman and N'Keal Harry combination right there. So yeah, like you said, wide receiver 3.
Love it.
Send it in.
Put it in. Corey Davis, Blitznikov. Am I saying that right?
I have no idea how to say that one. Lindikoff?
Bolitnikov.
Bolitnikov?
Yeah.
I thought it was Linda.
Blitz my cock off.
He was not a Bolitnikov winner. But he is 65% available.
Why did I think that?
Just threw him in there. I mean,
because he's a first rounder.
He's had the most snaps out of any wide receiver in the last 2 games. Obviously, A.J. Brown doesn't play 1 game. But in week 1, he did outsnap A.J. Brown. And in PPR leagues, he's had 17 week 1, 12 points in week 2. I think having A.J. Brown on the field actually helps him because that's just another weapon to account for. And, A.J. Brown's getting the 1s. Corey Davis is getting the 2s. So hopefully A.J. Brown comes back. But, yeah, just another guy who's, good depth, good wide receiver depth to have. Maybe some trade equity, 65% available.
65%. Russel Gage. What's his percentage right now?
All I know is he dropped a fucking dime to Julio Jones.
Oh, man, yeah. He dropped. Yeah, I thought they picked up Sanu for 1 week. And
yeah,
it was pretty tight coverage, too. I'm surprised he, actually just let that go. It wasn't, tight, but the guy wasn't, he was on Julio.
Yeah, the guy was on Julio's ass.
Yeah, so it's
yeah, he was. One might almost say he was in his ass.
He's 80%
That's
available.
why he kept going off the field. He's
Yeah, Russel Gage is 80% available. He was one of the guys we touched on last week. I know you guys really liked Russell Gage.
You could say the corner touched on him as well. Sorry, I was trying to keep going with that joke.
Yeah, but 16 or more points in PPR leagues in week 1 and week 2. Do you think going forward that this Falcons defense is just – what have they given up 40 points back-to-back games or something like that?
Yeah.
35 plus at least,
I don't get how their defense – we said, ever since they blew that 28-3 lead, the defense has not been the same.
They just need to fire that coach maybe. I
agree.
Who was saying that? I think it was Nico who was saying that.
We were talking about that, yeah.
Well, we were saying if he does the defensive play calling, whoever is doing that needs to give it up and pass it on. Yeah, pass that defensive talking stick to somebody else.
Yeah, I feel like with as many times as Matt Ryan's throwing the ball, Russell, I think he's just a nice piece to have because there might be, if you're in a double flex when bye weeks start to hit, Russell Gage is someone who's going to see targets. We get into week 4 or 5, maybe you have 1 or 2 receivers on a bye. He's someone you can throw in there and just kind of fill in a PPR format and know that Matt Ryan's going to probably throw 50 times that game and throw for 400 yards. And it's pretty much going to be anyone that's catching the ball, Hayden Hurst, Russell Gage, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley. They can all eat every week because they're throwing that many times.
Yeah. He's probably a reason why the Falcons were comfortable trading away Mohamed Sanu last year. They're probably thinking, you're going to give me a second-round pick for him? Sure, we have this guy named Russell Gage we feel comfortable going forward with.
Yeah.
And, it just shows. They run a ton of 3 wide receiver sets, so he's out on the field a ton.
It's and the Patriots were like, dude, it's okay. We'll make Mohamed Sanu look good, and we'll just trade him for even more. I feel like that's what the Patriots do. They'll be like, damn, the Patriots traded this much, but then they'll get. I don't know what they got or they just dropped Sanu actually.
Yeah, Sanu is now on the 49ers.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying when they went to the Niners, he didn't get traded. But anyways, no, doesn't matter. But yeah, Russel Gage is good. What's his percentage availability?
It said 80% on ESPN leagues at least.
Whoa.
Yeah, and he might throw you a touchdown in a given week.
Whoa.
Yeah. He's got that passing touchdown upside.
And if you're in a PPR league, fucking pick him up.
Julio's not used to seeing dimes like that 60 yards deep. He's like, bro, this is right on target. I don't have to slow down for once. I feel like he's open. I think me and your brother were talking about that. It's like Julio's open deep so many times, but Matt Ryan just like underthrows him, so he has to slow down, and then the defenders get him. But
maybe Julio's running too fast.
That's possible.
Yeah, especially with, I don't know. Yeah, put him on your team, man. What about this guy?
So yeah, this is my guy, Mike Williams, right here. He's 50% available. Just some good depth right here. Like I said, you always want to have some good bench players. It can never hurt. Trade equity and whatnot. He's 50% available. And he has that touchdown upside each and every week. One thing, I know it's a small sample size. You only get one game with Tyrod. He gets 9 targets, leads the Chargers in targets week 1. Week 2, you get Herbert in there. I think he only got 4 targets. He kind of leaned on Hunter Henry and Keenan Allen more. I don't know if it's that thing, Mike, like you say, the rookie quarterbacks, they kind of the shorter passes, tight ends, and stuff like that.
I think they just try and make safer passes because they don't want to fucking go out there and blow it.
The guy's chunks. I say it all the time, the guy's just a freak athlete. I'll keep singing this song, until we don't do this podcast anymore. Or until he's out of I'm always going to be singing this song. Oh, yeah, until he's out of the league.
Well, you're quitting the podcast?
No, dude.
It's 2025. Mike Williams, he's just a freak athlete.
I know. The past 7 years, he hasn't fucking done anything, but look.
That guy had 10 touchdowns.
He actually should have had a touchdown on that one play.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah, true.
I feel like
just a guy. Like I said, I think now if Herbert's the starter next week, then I kind of need to see it before I feel comfortable throwing him into my lineup. If Tyrod's the starter, then maybe okay. Like we saw him, he was heavily targeting Mike Williams, but just like I said, a good depth guy. Just you can never have too many good players on your bench.
Yeah, I would say
and
for
week upside players,
all these receivers, I would grab a running back first. Like I feel like I would put a running back ahead of a lot of these receivers. Like especially the Panthers ones. Mike Davis. We just added this guy. We just added this guy in here, Brandon Ayuk. Ayuk. Like we said, dude, everybody's injured in San Francisco except for this guy. So, and some running backs. So put them on your fucking squad, dude. Stop making excuses.
Yeah, good. Speculative ad. Take a flyer on him and throw him on the bench. 'Cause, like I said, everyone's just hurt right there, and
yeah. Yeah, I mean, he was a first-round pick, right?
I want to say he's a first-round pick, maybe second.
Maybe second, but remember. A high-end pick. I mean, he didn't play in week 1, and then he comes out 72% of the snaps last week. They're pretty thin. Dante, who gets shot? No, it's. I mean,
click a motherfucking down.
Ham sandwich. But maybe he has a good week 3, and then he's someone that you said, get ahead of the waiver wire. And
like I said, be a week early instead of a week late. Yeah. We jump onto these tight ends right here. So because we have a lot of I don't want to say no-name tight ends, but a lot of these tight ends that
there are some no-names.
Yeah. But yeah, you got our boy Mike Gesicki here. He's 50% available. Had a monster game, 8 catches on 11 targets, 130 yards, and a tug. I mean, we were watching the game, I think, and we even said it in week 1. Like he lacks the ability to create separation, but he lacks the ability to create separation. But the guy is arguably one of the best contested catch players in the NFL. I mean, he out muscles people, he out jumps, he's always making these tough catches.
I feel like what do you have? 9 receptions?
8 catches.
8 catches. I feel like 7 of them were him jumping and flipping in the air and catching the ball. Yeah. I was like, gee, he had that one nasty one-handed catch. That was pretty gnarly.
By the way, Brandon Ayuk was they traded up to the 25th pick with the Vikings to get him. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if Mike Gesicki's there, I mean, you've seen the on any given week, you've seen what his upside could be. So he's someone you got to go out there and grab.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, he was one of the guys we touched on. I think he's I think he's going to finish as a top 10 tight end. Maybe does he have some of these boom games, and maybe some games aren't that good, and that's why he finishes in the top 10. But Yeah, I think at the end of the season, we're going to talk about Gesicki as being a top 10 tight end.
Yeah, but I mean, you want a player in your team that at least offers that type of boom potential in a week. Where I mean, if maybe he has 2 more games where he goes 70 plus yards and a touchdown. I mean, that's essentially potentially week winning. Not week winning, but it could make a huge difference to the tight end position when your guy gets 3 points or the other guy gets 3 points and your guy gets 17 points. It can make a huge difference in a matchup.
Yeah, I mean, if you went out and you got a guy like Gronk or maybe Austin Hooper, these guys are just underperforming, and you're thinking, man, like I drank the Kool-Aid on these guys. I need somebody because these guys are not getting it done. Gesicki's 50% available. Go out and grab him. And if he's not there, go out and grab this next guy. Jonnu Smith, 60% available. Anthony, you hit this one right on the head. This was, every time we were talking about, who could be like the next, breakout tight end, you were like Jonnu Smith. And I mean, my guy's already got, or your guy, our guy, 3 touchdowns already.
Yeah, I mean, he seems to be the favorite red zone target. I mean, with no AJ Brown right now, it's hard to say that, but I mean, he's going to be heavily targeted in the red zone by Ryan Tannehill, and you talk about the efficiencies in the red zone. So, week-to-week touchdown upside, an athletic guy who, I mean, they give him running plays too, which is crazy for like a tight end. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I know Dre touched on him too. Dre likes him a lot. Dre's always joking around saying he's tighter than you. Dre just seems to have a kind of a knack, doing these dynasty leagues. He can find some good breakout tight ends.
Or does he just listen to the podcast?
I mean, I don't know. He had Gesicki and Jonnu Smith, and he had Darren Waller. So
yeah,
you got to give credit when it's due.
He's a tight end whisperer.
Tight end whisperer. But yeah, Jonnu Smith, I think, like I said, and for what the Titans want to do, I always say, you want to run play action with Derrick Henry. Tannehill, highly efficient out of the play action. That's quick. You have Jonnu Smith up there. Like he's going to block, you do play action, linebacker bites, boom, Tannehill right over the top, touchdown. Hug it, chug it.
Hug it, chug it.
Football.
For bear. How about this next guy? Yeah, by the way, we said, like, it's funny, in one of my leagues, one of the guys was like, oh, man, after tight end 7, it really drops off. And then I was looking down, there was like Gesicki, Jonnu Smith, Hayden Hurst, all these different guys that we were always talking about in the offseason. And I messaged him back. This was a couple months ago. I was like, dude, it looks fucking great to me. I was like, I want everyone after top 7. I don't want any of those guys up top. But, yeah, except for Travis Kelce.
Yeah, Jonnu would be one of my main – 60% available. He'd be one of my main guys to go out and get, outside of – you have some of these running backs, Mike Davis, Joshua Kelley maybe.
Especially
James
if
Robinson.
You're hurting at tight end. If you drafted Austin Hooper, like you said, or maybe even Gronk, that might be my priority.
Yeah,
to get one of or Gesicki, like get one of these tight ends.
Gesicki or Jonnu, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you drafted Gronk, go back in
Gronk
time.
Gronk has been nothing. He might be droppable. I mean,
yeah, they might drop him.
Too many Tide Pods in the offseason.
Yeah. Or it is off year. Okay, we got this next guy in Washington, Logan Thomas.
I mean, the dude's seeing targets. I could say that.
Yeah, I mean, it's never sexy getting anyone on the Washington football team outside of maybe Terry McLaurin. But, I mean, 8 targets one week, 9 targets the next. He's 85% available. I mean, if you just want a guy who's – I mean, you cannot deny the volume of the targets that he's getting. You know, it's just crazy.
It's not hard to throw to a tight end, so it's not like he's going to miss him.
I mean, Dwayne Haskins does, but –
yeah. Yeah, but if you're worried about Dwayne Haskins' accuracy, this is the guy that you want because he's too big to miss.
It's just weird because this guy played quarterback. I want to say Virginia Tech back in college. And so it's just weird to see, you'll see quarterbacks convert to, wide receivers. Even you've seen quarterbacks convert to running backs. But
to safeties.
But, yeah, you've never really seen a quarterback, to my recollection, convert to the tight end position. So, I mean, I always say it all the time, you like a player who's played multiple positions because he really understands the game from a different aspect. He's not just lining up wide. He's played quarterback before, so he knows how to read a defense. He knows how to read the zones, how to, where to go for the quarterback to help Dwayne Haskins. So having a guy like that, I think is highly
word on the street is he teaches Dwayne Haskins how to read defenses.
Probably.
He's like, hey, Dwayne, I'm gonna motion myself over here. I'm gonna run this route. He's like, oh, good idea.
Yeah. Hot rod.
Yeah. Ton of targets for that guy.
Nice. Alie Cox.
Yeah, Alie Cox. He's widely available, because you got Jack Doyle, who's the main tight end there. I'm not sure if this will be a thing for much longer, but I just kind of brought him up because they had a monster game. I don't know if people are going to be overreacting because I just kind of wanted to touch on him for the listeners here. But, I mean, 5 catches, 111 yards. He gets you 6 targets. Do you think this is more of just a no Jack Doyle, no Parris Cambell?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Rivers kind of always at least somewhat targets the tight ends, especially in the red zone. So, but, once Jack Doyle comes back, it's going to be a split with that. So, like you said, I mean, just someone to bring up, but kind of a deeper tight end start if there's no Jack Doyle next week.
Yeah.
All right, we got Jordan Reed. My God, he's actually doing stuff, guys.
I mean, you probably forgot about Jordan Reed.
I did.
He's yeah. So you're out there and they're like touchdown Jordan Reed, and you're like, wait, Jordan Reed, he's on the Niners. Like you probably didn't even realize that. But 7 catches, 50 yards, gets you 8 targets, gets you 2 touchdowns too. Now, like I don't know if this is another product of Kittle's banged up, they have nobody to throw the ball to, but maybe he could be something going forward.
I mean, with the lack of pass catchers, I mean, he's. I mean, as long as Kittle's out, I mean, once Kittle's in, that's a different story. But as long as Kittle's out, I mean, he might be someone I consider if I'm thin at tight end, potentially running out there. If someone's going to get me, 7 catches, even if you see 7 to 8 targets at the tight end position, that's good.
I mean, we've never doubted Jordan Reed's talent. It was just the ability that he just can't stay in the field. He's always getting hurt. He's always getting concussions. But when he's on the field, I feel like he's putting up fantasy numbers. Yeah. And in terms of like him being the second tight end, he's obviously had a ton of reps with Nick Mullins, who's now going to be the starting quarterback for the 49ers.
Nick Mullins.
Because Garoppolo's out with a high ankle sprain. So if there's a guy that Nick Mullins probably feels comfortable with, it's going to be a guy like Jordan Reed. So, yeah, I think if Kittle's out next week, with the knee sprain, yeah, Jordan Reed's a guy I'd definitely be firing up.
Dude, how'd you guys let me play 2016 highlights for a second there?
Because
I didn't even notice it.
All right, just another name. I don't know if you got to pick him up, but a name I'm kind of
Drew Sample. Bro, Drew Sample, dude.
It's a small sample size.
Are you playing Drew Sample, dude?
I mean, you gotta look at the.
Is that who you were gonna say or no?
No, but I mean, you can take a look at him. 9 targets last week.
You can smell him.
I was going to bring up Dalton Schultz. I mean, there was a lot of hype on Blake Jarwin, kind of being this heavily involved tight end. He's out for the year. Dalton Schultz gets his first start and sees 10 targets. I know Dak threw the ball a fuck ton last week, but he's someone to monitor. I mean, it's a good offense. Probably Cowboys probably going to be a top 5 scoring offense. He has Dak at the quarterback helmet. I mean, if he's someone who's going to kind of see 6-7 targets at the tight end position, he could be someone that you do the thing where we've been talking about, where you stash him and then maybe you're a week early on him versus being a week late, and maybe he sees another 7 to 8 targets next week, and we're talking about go get Dalton Schultz. So, just another name.
Yeah,
I like it.
I like it. All right, let's move on to some defenses you want to add this week. I would say don't use a waiver priority for any of these guys. Maybe the Colts defense, actually, the first one. But, yeah, I would say, add these guys. Don't really waste a priority or too much fab.
You can throw a dollar. Like, sometimes what I'll do is I'll throw like $1 or $3 on there or something like that.
Throw $3? Oh, by the way, if you use fab, in one of my leagues, I picked up a running back. I can't remember who it was. I think it was maybe Myles Gaskin. We had 1,000 fab, and I put $31, and someone bid $30. So beat him by $1. Always do those increments. Don't do like those.
Throw like random numbers out there.
Yeah,
like 30, 35, 40.
Put a 1 at that. Just like add 1 to whatever you're thinking. Just add $1.
What if you're doing 1?
Then add 1.
31.
Is it 2?
No. Yeah, 32. Plus add another $1.
No, what if I was going to do $1?
Yeah, $2. Do $2.
But yeah, Colts D, they get the Jets.
Yeah,
that's enough. You can against the Jets.
Yeah, they're 25% available, at least in ESPN leagues. Yeah, and they're home against the Jets. So,
yes. So
yesterday,
Colts. Yeah, or on Sunday. Well, it was yesterday, but if you're listening to this, it's Tuesday. But anyways, I had the Colts defense from week 1 because I was expecting them to get a bunch of picks against the Jaguars and do sacks and all that. And I was like looking to stream defenses this past week, and there wasn't very many good options. So I'm sitting there and I have the Colts, and I'm like, I don't want to really like drop them and pick someone up. And I looked, and week 3, they got the Jets. Sick. So I didn't drop them. I kept them in all these leagues. And Dre's sitting there, and he picked up the Titans defense, and he dropped the Colts defense. I think Colts defense had the highest score this past week. What?
Yes.
17 points?
17 points, yeah.
So, sometimes if it's not too big of a jump to stream a defense, just keep them on the team, dude. Look into the future weeks.
Yeah, and we preach, in the draft season, we like to wait on defenses. We like to stream defenses. Don't reach for a defense. Like I said, we had one guy in the 7th round, CJ. He reached and he got the New England Patriots defense.
Poor guy.
Yeah, but I mean, even if you go out and get like the Niners defense, because they had such a good year. Like I said, they're all banged up. I mean, and the Niners defense have put up 1 point and 6 points, and then you got the Patriots defense. They had a good game against the Dolphins. Fitzmagic threw 3 picks. But last week, or last night, I guess you could say, Sunday Night Football, they only give you 4 points, and they had a pick 6, which gets you 8 points. So they just got blown out. If they don't get that, give me pick 6. The Patriots defense would have got you negative points. And like we said, if there was one defense that we were willing to go reach on, it would have been the Steelers. Steelers so far, 10 points and 13 points. That's mucho horny for defenses.
They got me more.
Right there.
2 O's and 2 O's.
Bro, what are you talking about? They got me like 49 points in one of my leagues.
Yeah,
I'm in like the dumbest
Harry
bonus
Potter
league.
Magic League.
I scored 333 points and I lost.
But
That's how
so
silly that league
some
is.
good defenses to stream this week.
But then we got the Chargers.
Chargers. San Diego, or Los Angeles Chargers.
Los Angeles.
So you got the Chargers 70% available. They're going to be home. They're going to be against the Panthers. And you take away a guy like CMC. You got some good corners out there. Casey Hayward, Desmond King, Chris Harris Jr. Hopefully he can kind of limit DJ Moore and Robby Anderson. Like you said, Teddy Bridgewater, not the greatest out there. So, yeah, I'm not mad at streaming.
Yeah, throw the Chargers out
defense
there. I don't want to hold us up for too much longer. Yeah. Washington football team.
Washington, 85% available. They're at the Browns. So far in the year, the Washington football team, they got 11 sacks and 3 interceptions. And the Browns have this guy named Baker Mayfield. Has not been good yet.
Yeah, he's not good. Sneaky ad Washington defense. Titans defense.
Titans 65% available. They're at Minnesota, going to play the Vikings, and we kind of saw the Vikings how they struggled on offense last week. So yeah, just another decent streaming option right there.
Yeah, that's all we got, baby.
And that is all we got.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to the AVG Fantasy Football. Hadouken! This has been Season 3, Episode 50, NFL Week 3 Waiver Wire Adds. There's a lot of ouchies out there, so good luck. Hopefully you pick up your fucking dream fantasy football player. Maybe it's Jonnu Smith. Maybe it's Mac Davis. Maybe you want to go out there and waste waiver priority on Jordan Reed. It's your choice. But hopefully this podcast helped you. And that's what all I'm thinking about right now is your team just scoring point after point after point after point. And that's all because of the AVG Fantasy Football Podcast. Okay? That's all she wrote, okay? Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to us on Spotify. Like this video. Do all that. Okay? Do it. Do it. That's all I got.
Like
Thanks for
all
listening.
people hear you talking right now. Just hear this.
It's slower. Slow it down. Blah, blah,
Cook a
blah.
motherfucking, a fucking sandwich.
And then you just get all this.
Oh my god, so much happening. You just dude, stop.
The Jurassic Park one is so loud.
I know, I got it. I'll adjust it. I figured out how to
That's my favorite
adjust
one,
them.
though.
It is one of my
It
favorites.
just makes me want to watch the rest of the park every time. I'm just like,
Bro,
watch it.
dude, you know who else likes that one? Simple Jack. Alright. Us boys are out. Us big boys are out. Thanks for listening.